dentist.
Whoa, we're getting feedback from Bloodaxe right as we go live.
I don't have my volume turned up.
Well, now that was sounding like a plug issue, like maybe you yanked on your mic plug or something.
Yeah, that was an electronic sound. That wasn't voice feedback. It was a
No, my mic built into my computer.
Oh, that's weird. All right. Well, we're good anyway. Let's get started.
Is it better now?
Yeah, no, it's just for a second. All right. Welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm Xenodamus. I'm here with
Q.
And on Skype.
You got Bloodaxe.
All right. Let's get started, man. So you made it to Coast Con.
Yeah.
I barely made it here.
Yeah. So, when you decide that there's no good Cajun food in Mississippi, and then this little, hole in the wall Cajun place pops up and says, boil and boudin, don't trust it. Just gonna say, don't trust it.
You said the word boudin, my stomach just made a noise. It's like you still reacted. Well, here's a key part to boudin. You need to fully cook it. That's a really important part of the process. Turns out, like undercooked pork.
I thought that sausage looked a little undercooked, but I mean, I wasn't gonna be the judge. You're usually so picky about sausage that I was like, well, if it's undercooked,
it seemed fully cooked what I was eating.
It also could have been the mussels or the other stuff.
Number of things I ate could have poisoned me, but whatever it was, I had a night of misery.
I mean, I had the boudin balls, which I also mentioned I thought were a bit undercooked.
I mean, while it wasn't as bad as when I caught the big C, well, not the big C, the little C, the bug.
Yeah.
When I caught the bug, let's rephrase that, the bug. It was the next worst one to like the flu and the bug for like being up all night in absolute misery and pain.
Yeah. Luckily, I only got a little sick from it.
Well, that's because I ordered twice as much food as you. I ate it for lunch and dinner.
Yeah.
And the microwave didn't fix whatever was wrong.
Also, like the corn tasted funny. I don't know how you mess up corn, but I didn't eat it. He did. He ate it anyway. He's like, I'm hungry. Rah, 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 rah. And I was just like, all right, dude. I don't know how you fuck up corn.
I'm getting sick talking about it. We're going to have to stop.
All right. Anyway, so if anybody was looking for us at Coast Con, sorry, guys. That's what happened. How'd it go, Bloodaxe?
Well, I had a blast. I went Friday and Saturday. I didn't go today because I just needed the day to decompress. But what really surprised me was the 501st and Rebel Legion, the turnout that we had for our two squads. We had over 30 people in costume, which was the most I've ever seen. But there was a lot of games set up, a lot of vendors. I talked to the guy from Tortured Earth, and I'm thinking about running a session over here at Menard. So I need to talk to Greg about that. But it was fun, actually. We only had half the space that we had last year because the Coliseum Convention Center jacked up the prices so high. The tickets went up significantly, and we only had half the space. So it was packed, and probably because of the spacing issue. But I had a good time.
I mean, I'll say, dude, I mean, they were a little overspaced last time, which made it look sort of bad. So cutting back on the space probably may have actually helped some.
True.
But I mean, also the last time we went, it was the first con after the C, and yeah, it was rough.
That may have had something to do with it too. People not as keen of getting out, but I think my favorite part was me and two other people actually brought our costumes for Bull Row Hood, and we had the running of the hoods with the ice cream makers throughout the convention.
Oh, awesome!
Hey, that's cool.
Awesome.
So we had our flyby with our tie pilots and reserve ties, and then I went with my Porkins the rest of the day yesterday.
Cool. All right. Well, let's talk about some stuff in the news. Not really geek culture, but I mean, sort of geek culture. I mean, it's our generation of geek culture, I guess.
It's the finale to something that we've covered and been building up to.
Yeah. And that is on Netflix. Netflix paid the bill. Man, they dished out the money and they got the Chris Rock special that for a year, no one, he hadn't talked about the whole Will Smith slap thing. So,
he was waiting on that big money.
Yeah,
remember, he said he was waiting to get paid.
Yeah, well, he got paid, and I'm gonna watch this after the show. I mean, I've got to check it out. We sort of went ahead and watched a clip of the Will Smith part somewhat, and if that's all you want, it's at the end of the special. You can, if you got Netflix, just jump to the end. Apparently, that's where he talks about it. But I mean, Chris Rock tends to be a funny guy. I tend to enjoy his stand-up, so it's something I watch the whole thing of.
Especially because he talks about what I want to hear, which is he approaches the current environment, and I like hearing from comedians because comedians have always existed to tell us about society, the foils. This goes all the way back to the jesters back in the day. They're supposed to point out, the problems. And it sounds like, from what I've heard, that of all the things he talks about, he covers a lot of these hot button issues. So I want to hear what he's got to say. And I like Chris Rock on top of that. Some people I know don't like him. I like him.
Yeah.
Don't like his shows as much. I like his comedy. His movies, I can go without. But I like his stand-up.
Yeah, I can't really think of any of his movies that I just have to watch. But yeah, no, his comedy's always been good. And I mean, I do agree with one of the lines he had with if you think words hurt, you've probably never been punched in the face.
I mean, as a person who has been slapped, punched, and had things said at me, say what you want, but keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
because sticks and stones break bones.
Yeah. Anyways, but is this something you have any interest in, Bloodaxe, or?
Well, I don't have Netflix at the moment. We severed that probably a couple months ago, but I would be interested in seeing it. I don't think that his stand-up's going to be anything close to Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
But the only movies that I really enjoyed Chris Rock in was the Madagascar series. He did a good job with the zebra voice. I usually stay away from Ben Stiller films, who's the lion in that one, but Chris Rock made it funny. So I will say that I'll give him props for his voice work.
I love the way Bloodaxe. I know he didn't mean to, and I know it isn't, but somehow whatever he says sounds racist, even when it ain't. He's like, the only thing I liked him in was that he was playing that zebra. I know it ain't. It's just funny because I'm just like, why did that sound so weird? That when you guys like, what movie did he like? I liked it when he played talking zebra, and I'm just like, I don't know why, but that sounded strange. No, I'm telling you, I know it isn't, man. I'm not calling you. I'm just saying for some reason, I wasn't expecting it. You just caught me off guard. It's like saying Eddie Murphy's best role is when he played a donkey. You're just like, that sounds weird.
That was a good role, man.
It just
donkey.
Sounds weird.
No, actually, I liked him in Trading Spaces personally.
All of them, he played a human. You know what I'm saying? Then you just go, I like it when he was the zebra. And I'm like,
I never saw Madagascar, so I don't have kids. So.
Afro Circus. That is immediately what popped in my head when you said that. I just said, why am I not surprised that's where Bloodaxe went? I know, I'm sorry, but you just caught me off guard, dude. You sucker punched me with that answer. I'm like, was he going to say the Saw spinoff, Spiral?
I mean, look at all right, man, get off of it. Look at Bloodaxe. Bloodaxe is like, man, they don't pay me for this shit.
They don't pay me for this shit. But you were right. Madagascar was pretty good. I actually like it too. I mean, it was a good movie.
All right. Speaking of movies,
he played a buck-tooth zebra, man.
Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Keep going.
There was a variety interview, and people are not happy just from the interview. You have articles like this saying Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves is more woke garbage. Now, I will say, they did say this was not an attempt at wokeness on our part. But we did also love emasculating
Quote.
men.
And this is a quote.
Yes.
They literally quote that they love emasculating their leading men because they think it's, quote, funny, fresh, funny, fun, and fresh. And I immediately went the hell off. Y'all know your boy Q. Because I said, fresh? Fresh? That's every freaking movie that's came out for 2 freaking years. It's the entire MCU phase 4. Nothing's fresh when everyone's doing it. That's what I thought was like, do you know how bad a writer you are that you think it's a fresh idea to make a weak male lead? Really? And replace him with strong female lead. Oh my God. What? That's Bloodaxe. They're revolutionizing cinema. No one's ever thought of this. That's not been what we've seen fail in the theaters over and over and over for 2 straight years.
Oh man, the whole thing has been going on for more than 2 years, but
true. But it's been failing in the worst.
It's definitely not fresh. Let's say that. Regardless of what your opinion of it is, whether you like that type of thing, it's not fresh. And once again, it just shows the separation of Hollywood and the mentality there, that they do not understand what is really going on. Plus, you probably... Look, Dungeons & Dragons has gone through a lot of changes over the years. It's still primarily a franchise dominated by male audience.
I've been in a lot of gaming groups, including a lot of very diverse gaming groups. I want you to understand that. Most of the groups I game with are filled with a wide plethora of people of different identities, sexual orientations. In fact, I probably play with more female gamers than most people, just because we've had like as many as 2 or 3 females in our group. But having more than one is exceptionally rare. Exceptionally rare. And 2 was like a unicorn. And 3, I only think the reason I got to play with 3 girls at a time is because I believe it was an all-female gaming group that allowed me in. Because that's how rare it is to even see the mix, especially. So it's a bit of an odd choice to think that you'd want to keep, once again, because here's the difference with tabletop. I'll be quick. I know I'm normally not. I'll be quick. D&D is fantasy fulfillment. Nobody fantasizes about being a pussy. So if you have a primarily male audience... That's
not politically correct.
Oh, excuse me. No one fantasizes about being emasculated.
That's not correct either. You can't say nobody on that. That is a fetish.
The majority of people, when they make a character, it is to fill a fantasy of competency and strength. That is usually the goal of nearly everyone. Nearly. Thus, when you go, hey, you're fans of this thing where you get to be the big damn hero, let's emasculate what you're going to probably identify with the most in our movie. And then it's like, okay, no, bards. We all know bard players. They're not the majority. They're that one dude who for some reason doesn't mind dragging a whole group down. That's the bard player.
5th Ed's a little different. 5th Ed has bards aren't too bad.
They're that guy who doesn't mind.
They are a full spellcasters in 5e.
That doesn't mind dragging. I'm not changing my opinion. Like I said, it's an opinion. But my key point is that you rarely see that be. I'll put it like this. Can you argue to me that the majority of the audience probably does not want to see an emasculated male lead?
No, I would say yes. I would say I agree with you that the majority of the audience does not want to see.
And what's worse is, hasn't that been proven in the way movies have been turning out that have been doing this? We've been covering these movies. They're not doing well.
So the point I was going to make before you interrupted me earlier and decided to go on your rant first is that, yes, the majority of people, it's still a male-dominated thing. And I'm not saying just because it's a male-dominated thing, you need to make a movie that is male-dominated. I'm not. What I'm saying is, is why is it that we can't have the two, male and female on screen and they complement each other, work together? I mean, that's like the whole thing with D&D. What's your best group? Anybody who plays D&D, what's the best group? One where everybody is competent and you succeed at your goals. Like, that's the group you want to play with. You don't want to play with a group where two people are carrying the whole group and everybody else is just sort of there as decoration. That's not fun for everybody.
And notice even how that's even what I just said, because I didn't say the bard sucks. I said the bard is dragging the group down a bit because, yeah, he's a full caster, but he ain't a cleric, he ain't a druid, he ain't a wizard. So it's like, usually your bard player is not putting in a full share of work. He's like a 0.75, because they've improved him. He's up to about a 0.75, 0.8 of a 5-man team contribution. Used to be he was like half or less. Like, you were like, might as well have.
But I mean, 5e, your wizard is a 0.5 or a 0.7.
0.7. Well, notice I started with cleric and druid. I started with the real ones. I did it in order. I said cleric, druid,
cleric is
wizard.
Like a 1.5. I'm a druid. Druid's a 1.5.
But note that the bard's still under the wizard. You know what I'm saying? But like, and even then, it's not a deal breaker. But I put it like this. You know what I didn't like about the D&D movies the while back they made? It was that the main characters were the rogue. And I'm like, I'd rather follow a wizard, a fighter, or a druid, or a cleric, or a paladin, or a barbarian. I don't want to follow the rogue. In D&D game, the rogue's not the most exciting guy. I was shocked that they said, let's have 2 rogues as the main character. I'm like, I think I'd rather see bards. Maybe it would have been funny. They could have did a little Bard's Tale style thing and made it entertaining. But 2 rogues? Boring as heck. It's the most boring class to follow for a movie. In a fantasy world, if you're going to do rogues, give me a spy film. Give me, you know what I'm saying? Give me intrigue. But if you're doing an action movie, give me an action star character.
But yeah. Anyway, point is, yeah, probably if you're trying to get good reviews and broaden your audience, claiming to enjoy emasculating men, probably not the way to do it. You know
what they say? They can't get you white guys out of there fast enough.
Same thing. I mean, you don't want to talk about, belittling women. You don't want to talk about, being anti some group at all, period.
Yeah, I like the idea that there's a strong female in there, because let me tell you something. You want to know an example that actually did a pretty good job? The Mandalorian and Cara Dune. Was it Cara Dune? Was that Gina Carano's character? Cara Dune. Both of them were badasses. I liked it. And honestly, Cara Dune kind of kicked his ass. But it didn't mean he couldn't fight. I enjoyed that. Before they kind of pussyfied Boba Fett.
The thing is if you look at Cara Dune and you look at him, you expect her to kick his ass.
Pedro Pascal is not a particularly impressive man. Sorry, that's not me saying that. That's why they hired him for that's why they hired him for The Last of Us, because he's not that impressive as far as men go. But no, okay, I'll get out of that. But even Boba Fett, like the first scene of Boba Fett with his companion, they both were kicking so much ass. It's a shame that it just bled down because they just couldn't keep their hands off of him, and his testosterone levels just kept dribbling out of his pants leg. But when he first showed up, they both were awesome. And I said, wow, we're getting competent characters. And they were like, not for long. And I was like, oh, okay, wow. Yeah. Why can't they both be awesome? Why is it that you don't believe in women? Why do you think women are so weak and pathetic by the way you treat them that they can't be good if there's a male character that's competent in the room? That's your mentality. That's their mentality. They think that if a guy does one cool thing, the woman's invalidated. And that's not true. That's not true. You are the one that doesn't look at women. You are the one that won't look at them if there's a guy in the room. Apparently, if there's a woman and a man in the room and they're both doing the same thing, you believe that woman doesn't matter. That's not the way it works. You need to readjust your thinking. That's what this says to me. If you need to emasculate male characters to have a strong female character, then you don't have a strong female character. You have a female character that's faking it.
Well, no, I mean, dude, we've talked about. I know, we were Guardians of the Galaxy. One of Marvel's successes when it comes to that. If you notice, every character in Guardians of the Galaxy is flawed. Every character also has something that they're competent, and there's a balance between those characters mostly. The female characters all have flaws. They all have value. The male characters all have flaws. They all have value. Guess what? We all have flaws. We all have value. So I don't know, dude. All right, let's move on.
I mean, I don't take away from you. You don't take away from me.
Bloodaxe. I don't think we gave Bloodaxe a chance to talk on this. Well, you got anything else to say, man?
Yeah, I was just waiting for my chance to butt in. But the first time I saw where a male character was demasculated was Poe Dameron in The Last Jedi. And what they did to him really kind of perturbed me significantly.
Yeah.
And that was in 2017. So this has been going on for over 5 years. The fact that they are bragging about doing it just shows that, like Q said earlier, they're just saying the quiet part out loud. They don't care what you think anymore.
Yeah.
Which is, I applaud them for doing that. But that also means that I have no interest in your movie because you're doing it as a joke or just to see what you can get away with. And dude, the last D&D movie, the one that came out 20 years ago, was terrible. Now the one they made after that, which was direct to disc, was pretty good. But why can't they take one of these other D&D stories like Salvatore had written or Ed Greenwood or somebody else and actually convert that into a really good film because it's already a really good story? You've already got stories written that you can use.
You're 100% right. I'm not going to stop you to keep going, but I'm just saying they have a whole roster.
And most of those have both competent men and women in them.
Wrestling Majir, the Dragonlance saga, the Halfling's Gym. Anyway, go ahead. But I just want to say, good one.
Yes,
they have scripts pre-written.
You could do the whole Drizzt first 3 trilogies almost kind of like Lord of the Rings. And if someone was competent and did it well, you would have a massive success on your hands. But you can even switch over to Ravenloft and do stuff with Strahd and Lord Soth and Azalin and have an absolute monster film series.
Well, they can't do Drizzt anymore because you can't have evil. Evil is bad,
Screw that.
No, man. Hey, Idris Elba for Drizzt. I'd love to have Idris Elba voice Drizzt, not because even if he put on that much black, he'd be blackfacing it. Like you can't be pitch black.
Well, also, I mean, Drizzt's not. You sort of need a slankier, I think, frame.
What's that voice? I would want to see animated. I don't think you need to do a live action.
But I mean, now the thing with Dark Elves, the women tend to be more powerful in Dark Elf society. So,
Patriarchal society.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that you can do that actually will win you points, but
the occasional standout.
Occasional. But the matron mothers are friggin' horrors, man. Like you do not horrors, by the way. I said horrors. Like they are not to be trifled with.
Now, if you really wanted to demasculate someone and actually it appeared to be correct in the story, have one of the male drows foul up and then have the matron turn him into a drider. That would actually be a good way to do it that was also well told.
That's not really emasculating, though. That's just good storytelling.
They don't know the difference. He's trying to fool them.
Oh.
He's trying to trick them into telling a good story.
Because there's reason behind it. Like, I mean, when there's reason behind stuff and there's story and history, not really emasculating.
No, man. We would sure be angry if you told a really good drow story. Toxic masculinity.
Just because somebody isn't good or is incompetent isn't narrowly emasculating. Emasculating is a certain style.
True. Well, it's without good storytelling. Yeah. It's how you can write a weak character or you can write a derogatory character.
Yeah.
The problem is they tend to be derogatory instead of actually writing the character, like you said, to be flawed. And that's the problem. I mean, they themselves ruined any chance of me seeing this character as simply a flawed character by saying that they were emasculating him for fun. So you're like, oh, so this isn't a deeply flawed character that's supposed to have the growth, the story of growth or redemption. He's actually just meant to be, I can't use that word. He's meant to be emasculated. We'll use their word. And it's like, okay, what's the story point of emasculating someone? If he's a villain, maybe. Watching a really bad guy get his comeuppance, but that isn't emasculating. You're right. That's literally not emasculating. That's an actual good story of justice and consequences. So, yeah, no.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about something else. Let's move on. And next up, we have this is sort of just last week in the show. You know, we had some people in the comments talking about DRM, and of course, we talked about upcoming game. What was that game? The Marvel, I don't know, the DC Suicide Squad game and the DRM, and why people were upset about the online always and
Suicide
stuff like
Squad
that.
killed the Justice League.
And one of the things was DRM. And I mentioned in there that a lot of times companies will remove the DRM as the game dies out or the DRM service dies out. And then this popped up in the news today, and I was like, okay, well, this sort of goes against what I said, but also reinforces why so many people are upset about this type of thing. And that's Resident Evil 5 for Windows. Took them 14 years to remove the Windows Games for Windows Live. Now, you understand, Games for Windows Live has been a dead service now for probably 8 years, something like that. It's been a while. And for a few years, I know some of the Batman games, you used to have to sort of finagle a copy of Games for Live underneath the new Windows Games interface, and you could sort of get them to run. But lately, I don't even think that worked anymore. And 14 years later.
That's like 2 consoles ago, man. That's like not even 1 console ago. That's like 2 consoles ago.
So this is the problem with DRM and Games for Live service.
My son didn't exist then. That's how long ago that is. He's just turning 13. Good Lord.
Well, I mean, that's when the game
then.
came out. Now, the issue with games for Windows probably didn't appear till about 7 years ago.
7. Okay, that's a reasonable number. 7 years. So technically 7 really is.
But yeah, so I mean, it's just one of those things where if you ever wonder why people get sort of antsy with the online only or the tied to some kind of DRM service, well, this is an example of why.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you watch Young, he's covered a lot of games too, where some games, dude, if it's not doing that well, there was like 3 or 4 games that were supposed to be live service that got canceled in the last year. Go check out Young, he covers it. And some of those games had only been out for a year. Now imagine you spent your money on a game, and a year later, it's going offline.
Yeah.
Like, that has happened.
Well, and this isn't even a live service game. This was just a DRM service.
Yeah.
You talk about, live service. Well, also, I mean, the problem with live service games, too, is a lot of the playability or replayability loses over time because you don't get those active services, or those new events or whatever that is part of the money behind the game. Now, hopefully, if you got it that late, you paid a cheaper price for it, and you didn't buy it at full price and just not get around to it.
I got to give that to Gears. Me and Bloodaxe play Gears 5 on and off. Him more on and off to me, and I think they set up an AI to just randomize the events, but it doesn't do real updates. But it keeps randomly every week.
It's one of the things you gotta give I mean,
boulder punching. Yeah, boulder punching.
Yeah. No, Borderlands credit for is, I mean, they released all their live services where you can actually go into settings and activate the different seasons.
Borderlands 3 was awesome for that. Me and Bloodaxe went on a friggin' cartel like crack binge because we had started on it, and we had, how many times did we run through the cartel like in one day as soon as they did that?
Probably like 4 or 5.
Yeah, we ran through that like because we love it that much. We just started running through it, and then I went and did the Halloween event looking for my grenade for a week straight. Yeah, don't know what happened to Wonderlands, man. I'm still pissed. Like I keep going back and checking, and there is no hope in sight for that game. It is dead in the water.
Yeah,
they threw that thing under the bus.
Well, speaking about being in the water for a while.
Oh wait, hold on. You got anything about the live service, Bloodaxe? Other than what we just mentioned,
I'm not as invested in that because I play most of my stuff on console. The only game that I really wish was still playable was Chrome Hounds, which was the last mecha game that actually played like a true BattleTech style mecha game. And when that one went offline, that one kind of upset me. Same thing with the Mech Assault 1 and 2. You can't play those online anymore. But you can still play the campaign modes. So there are still some things you can do with it. But no, I don't have a whole lot to add to those because it's not something that affects me directly.
Yeah, we usually pick our games pretty good for online, like, you know. But the problem is when you dip, that's what I was just trying to say about Young Ed was basically covering. When you dip outside of AAA, you're gambling with services that could be out within a year.
No, I mean I've picked up several of the games
on Steam
that have been, you know, they're what do they call it, the green lighted games, which is basically more your indie games that have gotten some kind of sponsorship. And you get those, and they're usually in beta or alpha access, and you sort of play around with them, and then you wait for the update to see if it's going to get better. And sometimes a lot of those, they just die.
They say they die on the vine. They never even ripened.
You know, for a while, one of the big things that was getting a lot of green lighting were Diablo-like games. And I got several of those because I do like that style of game. And so many of those died.
I think only Path of Exile and Pillars of Eternity survived. But there was a lot more.
I mean, that. Torchlight kept a bit of steam.
I don't know if Grim Dawn's
and
updated.
Grim Dawn hasn't really died. I think they still do expansions occasionally.
I really enjoyed the Necromancer on that. I'm going to have to go check and see if they've done anything, if they got anything.
But yeah. But I mean, some of the other ones that I played, I mean, there was one that had a really cool mechanism of a status tree that I really sort of enjoyed because it had a 3-layered wheel. And so it was sort of that star pattern tree, and there was 3 layers of it. And the cool thing of it was you could turn the wheel so that certain trees were available, you know, by basically modifying where this wheel is. Now, once you got inside the wheel, you couldn't move the wheel.
You know what that reminds me of? Weirdly enough, Final Fantasy X with its sphere system, which depending on which way you headed to, you would branch off into other spheres. I will make this quick comment, though, just for my fans who actually been following me with my love of necromancy. I will say this, as much as I enjoyed Diablo, Grim Dawn had the best necromancer class. For undead. Let me correct that. For undead pet builds. The level of customization was on a whole nother level. Like I would love to see the new Diablo match Grim Dawn's detail for customizing the way your undead work. Your undead were more just a power in Diablo. Beautifully animated, fun game. But when it came to really feeling like a necromancer who was fine-tuning his undead horde, it was Grim Dawn. Just got to give that concede. Now, overall, Diablo was a much more fun game. Is what you'd expect from a very long history, of a game. Great items, fun builds, great storytelling, good graphics, good acting. But fulfilling? Because there's a difference between, like, quality and fulfilling. I had a very fulfilling experience with my actual Necromancer and Grim Dawn. If I could take my Grim Dawn Necromancer and play through it in Diablo,
this was the game here. It was interesting. Let's see if I
It's
can.
a Diablo-like?
Yeah. Like I said, let's see if they have a picture of their tree.
Does it have necromancy?
I don't think they had a big necromancy.
Then they can burn in hell.
Yeah, I don't see a skilled tree.
At least summoning? Did he at least have summoning? I see skeletons, but they're probably only enemies. See,
Yeah,
I hate it when only bad guys. Wait, no, that's
no,
necromancy.
yeah.
You son of a bitch! How dare you?
Well, dude, I played this game when it was still in beta, and then they did that weird thing where they released DLC, I think, before the game was even finished, and you would have to pay more.
I gotta catch it on sale. Dang,
there was something weird about it that made me stop.
there's too many games coming out this month for me to
It's
drop
mostly
40
positive
on it.
now. It used to be mixed.
No, I'm gonna put it on
May
my
have
wish
gotten
list for a
better.
sale. I'm gonna put it on my wish list for a sale. Cause I'll try any necromancy. I am your one-stop shop and a know about game necromancy. I play all of them. I do my best to go through. I played Pillars of Exile and Pillars of Eternity and Path of Exile. So I've got to try it out and see if it's any good. You know me, I'm gonna go check it out. But we got so many games coming out because I got to go pre-order Diablo 4 so I can get in a beta.
Yeah.
I just bought Wild Hearts, and then April we've got Dead Island 2. And I think Diablo actually hits, so. But it's a good backup. It gives me something to have on the back burner. So, because Necromancy, buddy. Me and Necromancy. But honestly, Diablo 4 is going to probably stomp it out. Once Diablo 4 comes out, that'll probably be my big one. But now that you said it's got this great skill system and Necromancy, I feel like punching you in the dick because I've been looking for Necromancy for months, as you know.
Here's the skill tree. So you have these circles.
That's my kind of excessive detail.
And then you can move them so that when you connect, you can do different.
Well, that's crunchy. I could sit there for hours planning that out. You know I'm that weird guy. I'll sit there with a flow chart. Oh, I hate you. I could have been playing all these months. I had nothing to play. Now, when everything comes out, he's going to be like,
dude, this came out back in 2021, maybe.
How long have I been looking for something to play? By the way, this is a common thing with Xeno. Don't y'all feel bad for him. He never tells you about anything good. It's always late. I'm up here playing Wild Hearts. I figure out something really helpful. I call him up and go, hey, man, I figured out a really useful trick. Oh, I knew that.
Well, look,
why did you tell me then?
You never wanted to play Diablo. So I just assumed this would be another game you didn't want to play until
Necromancy. I played all of the games for the Necromancer. You know that. You lie.
So let's talk about Fable.
He almost caught a rib. I was aiming for the candy too. I was looking at it like, But if he hits me back, I'm gonna crap myself because I'm still sick. So he's got the advantage.
Oh.
I cannot take a stomach shot right now. Food poisoning for those of you late to the game. I got some food poisoning.
Is it your birthday, Blood?
Oh,
Friday.
It's Friday?
Oh, crap. Happy Friday birthday. Late birthday.
Is it last Friday or this Friday?
2 days ago.
Oh.
Why did you think it was last Friday?
I don't know. Well, no, it is last Friday. That's what you said 2 days ago.
Then what did you say, last Friday or this Friday?
Well, this Friday would be... That's what I said.
Okay, happy late birthday.
Or whatever. Anyway, yeah, happy late birthday, man. So Fable.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a happy late birthday, man. So Fable, wow, that FU was just slid in there.
I wanted an FU.
I'm sorry I missed your birthday, but remember, I was dying. I was crapping my
You weren't
guts out.
dying on Friday, you were dying on Saturday. But that's
no,
okay.
it started Friday.
It started Friday late.
See, you know what? If you would have come to CoastCon for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that never would have happened.
That is true.
That is true. You know what? Point Bloodaxe. Point to the youngest of us all. Wait, are you the youngest or the oldest? No, you're the youngest.
I'm the
Yeah,
oldest.
I'm the youngest.
Really? Black don't crack. All right, let's go.
Oh, so this is a game I've been anticipating for a while. And I mean, a while back we heard from Microsoft head that he was hoping to demo this, and the team was like, oh well, we're not quite there yet. Come to find out, apparently it's just now going into full development.
Tell them when it was announced.
So, well, I mean, it was announced, 3 years ago?
July 2020, this game was announced. And they're starting development now.
So it's only entered full production recently, while details are still scarce on how the game will play. Andy Robinson revealed that the term Witcher-like was thrown around, giving us an idea of what to expect out of the game. Anyway, so yeah, don't expect this anytime soon.
I'm a Fable veteran, dude. I've owned it on Xbox, all 3 games, and I've owned them on PC. I went and got there was a sale. I got all. Yeah. I love Fable, dude. I've been playing them since they've been coming out.
I mean, we should have known this wasn't gonna be fast. When the people making it are people who pretty much primarily made racing games. So,
yeah, but with Molyneux gone, I thought the lying and and baiting you along was gone. But nope, they still got that Fable tradition of saying stuff and not following through. Because I mean, this is ridiculous, dude. Like, if they just started major production, that means this ain't gonna be out in 2024. It's gonna be out like a 2025 release or later. Because it takes them like 2 years to make a game.
Well,
these days.
I will say we got a lot of shit coming out this year, so maybe it's for the best.
Yeah, I guess so. But Fable's got me and Bloodaxe. You played Fable, right? Really? I thought you were Fable. Oh, that was Kitsune. But we're and Lynn, we all played it and we're big fans, and it's just. I'm getting old, man. They can't keep doing this. I'm gonna die. Look, they don't start getting games out faster. I'm not gonna get to play some of this stuff.
I played all 3 Fables all the way through multiple times. I've bought multiple versions of the first Fable. I've probably bought that game 3-4 times.
2 for me.
I bought it on console and PC, and then I bought the extended edition.
Crap, you're right. I do have.
Then 3. they did I think somewhat of a remaster a bit.
I got that one.
So yeah, no, I've played this game a lot, and now I will say Fable 2, Fable 3, really fun games. Never fully delivered on what we hoped for Fable, and that was what we were hoping here. And the tech is here now, and with this being somewhat of a reboot, it's the perfect time to actually finally deliver. And this is not promising to me. That's my biggest thing. Is this is something I'm anticipating, and I'm very disappointed at this point, and not really felt assured that this is going to be a good release.
I mean, red flag, man.
Yeah.
Red flag. Do you know what? This sounds like trouble. Sounds like development trouble, because they got questioned on it, and it's going to get axed. Like our William Coleman, our guy in the chat, is saying, it could get axed now. I don't know if he's talking about this one. I didn't read everything, but even if he isn't, it makes me think that because they already asked for a demo once, and for them to now go, oh, we're finally working on it. If I was the Xbox. What did you say? It was Xbox who? The CEO? Or what was it?
I think it was the Xbox game, CEO. Forget his name.
But I would be, right, Bloodaxe? I'd be looking at him and going wait, you're just now, I asked you for a demo years ago. I would seriously consider axing this. And honestly, with all the good games coming out, Starfield, they have Bethesda, they don't need Fable. This is why you don't screw up like this. Because they don't need Fable. They've got better people. They've got Obsidian. They've got Bethesda. They really don't need this, and I want a new Fable, but I'm also man enough to say, it ain't gonna beat out Elder Scrolls. It's not gonna beat out anything Obsidian does. So they needed to get a win, and they are already. I almost don't care. When I saw that, I literally was throwing my hands up. I'm not even worried about it anymore. I got games coming out. This is what happens when you F around.
Yeah, so this was back from September, where the Xbox exec teased this new Fable. There's a lot of cool stuff.
No, there isn't. They ain't done nothing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It says we should, we should show this. It's Fable, but he said, because there's a lot of cool stuff. The team has made it very clear that I'm not going to be able to show anything until it's ready. But what I'll say is the craft and decision that Playground brought to Forza Horizon, every bit of that is going to be applied to Fable, and they get it. So here it was implied back in September that we had a near complete game, but it wasn't quite ready yet.
And apparently a lot of work went into it.
Yeah.
Then flip over to what we were just looking at.
Oops. Where was it? Here we are. Yeah, finally going into full production.
And it says details discuss how the game will even play.
Yeah.
And he threw the term Witcher-like, which means nothing to me because, I mean, Witcher 1, Witcher 2, or Witcher 3? See, Bloodaxe, I don't think you suffered through the Witcher experience, have you?
No, I haven't played those.
Trust me, like, there's a big difference on what you mean by Witcher-like. Even Witcher 3 to me there's better playing games, dude. It's great story writing, but by Witcher 3, they had just hit the level of like a Souls-like or the like. It wasn't amazing.
And I'm hoping I'm just reading into this wrong, and there's a lot more done.
I don't know. I saw something about it was proceeding slowly. You just up.
I mean, and there's been rumors of it proceeding slowly for a while, but I mean, for them to say it just entered full production, that throws me.
And I mean, how many games have we seen where they're able to go, oh, it's going to have this, it's going to have that? Yeah. They're saying nothing. And I don't think that's a good sign these days because you don't drum up hype by being excessively secretive about your game. That's just not how you do it anymore. You know, because people don't trust these companies. They don't have that trust, especially when you're a friggin' racing company. You don't need to hope people are going to trust you what you're doing because honestly, I think they're going to screw it up. I've got nothing to base they know what they're doing on. So by them being secretive, that's just to me that they're keeping it secret because it's trash. Sorry, but that's what happens when you're a freaking racing game company that's super hiding your freaking game. I mean, Bloodaxe, weigh in. Am I being psycho here? Am I being alarmist?
No, I mean, if like with Star Wars Eclipse, they told us last year 2025. At least they set the expectation when they announced the game. With this one, they didn't say 2025. They just said Fable's coming. And then when you're talking about demos, oh, they're pretty close. They ain't even started yet. So that's got to be frustrating from a executive perspective that your team hasn't even started on this game. Kind of curious what they've been working on that was so important that they couldn't actually begin a game they even announced.
Yeah. I mean, I remember there being rumors, of the needing the they want to do an in-house engine and stuff like that, and I think they were using modifying the Forza engine to work with RPGs, which is part of the slow production and all that stuff. But at this point, I expected more, and I really expected something other than, hey, we're finally going into full production. That just seems a little off. Maybe that means the engine's complete. And maybe the story,
step one.
Maybe the story's already complete. They got the engine complete and they're just putting the pieces together.
I can't believe they wouldn't have said that to calm people down.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm trying, dude.
Devil's advocate.
Nobody on this show has hope. I'm trying to have hope.
Forza isn't even the best racing games. They're okay.
Forza is the best looking racing game. It's not.
That does not mean the best playing racing game.
And if you like realistic racing and you go into all those the heavy duty racing game people I know are big into Forza.
Okay, I'm right. I'm curious because I don't know. I don't racing game.
Now, me as a not big racing game person would rather Need for Speed or something. But when you go into the realistic racing, I mean, the people I know that are big into it, Forza is a big thing for them. So
it's up there. You're right. All right, he's up there. Forza.
So, I mean,
this ain't a racing game.
It's not a racing game. I mean,
unless
you're talking about a race around the village,
I mean, I'm pretty well. I tell you this: that damn better be exciting on that horse. When I get on a horse, I'm expecting some impressive experience, boy. I'm expecting to be drifting with the horse.
You get what I'm saying, though. I think almost all the Fable games had at least a foot race at some point.
Yes,
in them. So
I hope they have a good sense of humor because I don't think the Forza games are known for that. And the Fable's real appeal was its quirky.
Forza
sense of humor.
is a very dry racing game. So yeah.
Well, how about you, Rant? Now it's your turn.
Actually, I was about to hand this over to you. Because,
you want to do the positive first?
Well, okay. I guess I can start off with mine. That's fine. Let me switch articles here then. So everybody heard us talk about Wo Long, right? I hear it's doing really well. Unless you're on a PC, you cocksucking motherfuckers. Oh my God. Fucking. Oh, all right.
Bloodaxe, it's bad. PC port is so bad. He needs to get on his console.
Q talked this game up to me. I wasn't gonna push it too much, but he talked in and there was co-op, and I was like, great, okay. Oh, and there's cross console, so that's the platform, so I can play on my computer because I prefer to play games on my computer. So I get this game, I pre-install it and everything, and I'm waiting for the release. You know, we're talking, I'm like, 11 o'clock, dude, 11 o'clock. It releases at 11, you know. And game comes out, and this is very disappointing. I couldn't get through character creation, man. Like, I'm trying to get through. I'm having to guess what buttons are because it's only showing me shapes for buttons, not keys. And it was not intuitive at all on how you would use a keyboard and mouse to navigate just the character creation. And I mean, it was just red flag. And so we go to hang out with one of our other buddies, and he and they asked me about it, and I was just like, dude, I didn't get through character creation. He's like, what are you talking about, man? And I started telling him about it, and he's like, no, it can't be that bad. And I was like, well, you know, we're in front of I had my media center up. We were downstairs watching some anime and stuff. I was like, let's see what people are saying. Because he's like, man, everybody I'm talking to is loving it, saying it's awesome.
I'm hanging out with Zhang Fei and Guan Yu, man. Though the three brothers, we're fighting. I'm up here fighting demons. I'm having a ball. I killed a tiger with a stick. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, deflect.
So he's not believing me. He's like, well, why aren't you just playing with control? Nobody plays these things with keyboard and mouse. Anyway, I was like, I play these games with keyboard and mouse all the fucking time. And he's like, no. And I was like, let's pull up Steam. Mostly negative. Why is it mostly negative? I don't know. Unplayable on keyboard and mouse. If you have keyboard and mouse, don't buy this game. That's pretty much what this is. All these reviews, I mean, not recommended. Most people, 1.3 hours, 3.5 hours.
Look at the one good review. Plug-in controller.
Yeah, step one, plug-in controller. So,
turn off ambient occlusion, play game. It's really good on console. It's really good. Bloodaxe, you're going to enjoy it.
Good game, but only when using controllers. Gameplay is super fun, but I've got to say this game, when you're actually playing and not in a cutscene, looks like it's from 2011.
The graphics aren't exceptional, no. But the gameplay is fun.
That person said the game
I'm sure
sucked.
One of those kanjis is for keyboard, I'm sure. Look at this. Even his father goes, on PC, this is horrendous.
I can't say the negative reviews are undeserved. However, and if this is a big if, you can get past the performance issues and got yourself a controller.
Bloodaxe, what do we keep telling him, man? He's so stubborn. We keep saying,
well,
play on your console.
Well, the thing about it is I played it on the console and I couldn't get through the tutorial.
Oh,
but that's a skill problem.
Oh, Anyway.
I'm teasing. Wait a minute. How did you not get through the tutorial, though?
There's no block button.
Yeah, it is. It's L1.
They keep telling me to press B to dodge.
That's the deflect button. You hold L1 to block. Did you not pull up the control schematics? You'll see. You can hit a little button. It'll bring up a picture of a controller and tell you what every button does. Am I the only person that does this in games?
I deinstalled it.
That's the... Okay, no, I'm sticking with my first statement. That's a skill issue, man. You're supposed to pull up the control scheme and
my
look at
point
it.
is, if you're wanting to play this on PC, and you got a good enough PC to get past the performance issues, don't be a mouse and keyboard user. If you're a mouse and keyboard user, don't buy this game. Not yet, anyway.
Y'all go in the comments and suggest a game easy enough for me to get these people to play with me, man. At least Bloodaxe. You won't play it if it's hard, apparently. I'm about to give up on you, man. You sure you're not going to quit on Dead Island? The zombies bite.
You know what? Screw you.
You've already bought it. You can't get away. You've already bought your copy.
You know, I'm tired of being a punching bag. I'd rather everybody just drop the whole Skype session and let y'all bitch at me later on.
Hey, man, we're just teasing you because you keep quitting on me. I mean, I want to play with you. I played your game. I'm not a great Gears player, but I tried.
You're better at Gears than I am at Wulong.
After a while, I was getting dogged out by your friends online when I first started playing. I didn't quit. They kept talking about, man, your friend
that was one guy that was being an asshole. Well, number one, you don't play enough to even learn the style for engineer. You just build, drop it, and we go move it for you. And that's what I was complaining about, was nowhere to put your stuff. But that guy's pretty much a male sex organ anyway, so I don't even play with him anymore at all.
When you say it like that, actually.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Look at that 2.2.
I might re-download it again and give it a try.
Dead Island and Diablo.
I wasn't feeling it at all, but I haven't gotten to the Earth element yet, like you were talking about, that I should go for.
It's a shame because I found out it looks like I can drop you equipment, so I was literally going to go farm you some heavy armor. Because I was just telling Zeno, I said, I think I can drop equipment. I'm going to go get like a heavy set of armor. Yeah. But you got to complete the tutorial. We can't play together until you get through the tutorial. That's the problem. Like they thought of that. They said, get through this first boss, and then you can go to multiplayer. So if you can't get through the first boss, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to be able to play together.
I will install it on my Xbox, and I will play.
Nah, dude, Diablo 4's come out. We all can play the Diablo 4 demo. Hopefully it'll let us multiplayer, and we can actually enjoy it together.
Well, no, dude, you got me hyped for the game. I watched it. I like Souls-like games. I just,
No, I got you. You got a preferred way to play. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm teasing. If you prefer PC and you bought it on PC, you should be able to play it on PC. I actually was raging about this last night with him and our boy Jarek. Oh, go ahead, man. What?
Yeah, you should. You should be able to play on whatever platform that you... Now, cross-play, that's always been an iffy gamble anyway, but you should be able to play on whatever platform that you bought it on, which may be the reason why we haven't seen Darktide yet on console, but it's already getting like upgrades and patches on PC. Maybe they're smart and because it's unplayable on console, they're not releasing it to prevent the issue that Xeno's dealing with on PC with Wulong.
You know what? I'll give him that. Good thought. But like I was talking with him and Jarek Friday night, and I made the comment. I said, dude, why is it that the PC ports have been so bad?
As a matter of fact, you were sucking on some mussels and crab at the time you were talking to us about it.
Stop bringing it up. Oh, they poisoned the crap out of me. But no, like and I was on their side because I said, dude, I am also a PC gamer. Don't get it, bro. Like I spent a bunch of money. He helped me upgrade my PC. I play preferred games on it, certain games. Like I'm definitely going to get Starfield for it. But for action games like this, I've been getting a console because I told him, I said, dude, you can't trust a PC port of an action game these days. For some reason, for about a year, PC ports of action games have been trash fire. And if you get the console, it works from day one. So I'm like, man, I'm just going with what works. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to buy a version of a game that's likely to have issues. I mean, I got Cyberpunk on PC. I'm not stupid. Cyberpunk, PC version. Starfield, PC version. Fallout, Elder Scrolls. If I went back to play the Outer Worlds again, we're going to cover that in a sec, I would get the PC version. But if it's an action reflex game like this, gonna go with console because it tends to play the way it's supposed to.
Well, dude, I mean, it's a different age. Like where I had a Nintendo and I had consoles. From a young age, I was a PC gamer. You know, I had Doom on PC. I had Wolfenstein on PC. I had Mega Man on PC.
Oh God, I played Mega Man on Nintendo.
No, that came out on PC. Don't forget GoldenEye.
GoldenEye did not have that on PC. That was Nintendo 64.
I got a re-release though, man, and everybody loves it.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, no, I grew up PC, Quake, PC, Descent, PC,
Unreal Tournament.
Heretic, PC. You know, all my shooters were PC. Yeah, Unreal Tournament, PC, and
Hexen.
What's that?
So I was asking, what about Hexen?
Hexen, yeah, played that PC. The thing that I played on console was mostly fighting games and JRPGs. That was what I had a console for because those didn't come to PC very often. And if they did, they were usually crappy ports.
The crappy port to PC is not new.
Yeah.
If it wasn't meant for PC, right, it still isn't meant for PC.
I'll give it a try. I'm re-downloading Wulong now. My biggest complaint about Wulong isn't the difficulty, to be honest with you. It's the fact that there's no map and they don't tell you where to bloody go. And that is just super frustrating. I'm pulling a queue, getting turned around, getting lost in this burning village. And I'm like, where the hell am I supposed to go and what am I supposed to do? And I got a blind guy leading me.
Screw you. Literally. It's a Souls-like.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I'm sorry, it's a Souls-like.
There is no quality of life.
Souls-like's opinion is figure it out. You think that's something? You would have hated Elden Ring.
Yeah.
It's open world and there's no idea
I've got a couple parts of it, but I'm like, this is just, I'm hoping that once I get past this crap, and I can actually play with somebody, then I'll be able to actually enjoy the game.
Believe
more.
it or not, to me, that was the most confusing level. Actually, when because that's why we're waiting for my part of this, is I have criticisms, and I guess I'll get into it.
Yeah, I thought you were already on your part.
Well, no, about the actual game for people to know what the game is like. Okay, the controls, combat, fine. If you've ever played Romancing Kingdom and Dynasty Warriors, awesome. Getting to play with some of your favorite characters and fight against some of your favorite characters, really good iterations. Flaw of the game, it is not open world, and I don't mean that just by a little bit. It is arenas. It's you go to this map to do this section of the story. It's actually super linear, super. The most confusing map is the first map. After that, it's practically go forward. After Elden Ring and even Wild Hearts feels more open, and that's something, because Wild Hearts is not an open world game, but compared to Wulong and even Monster Hunter Rise, it feels more open world. But like, it's extremely linear.
All right, so what would you rate the game? Out of 10.
Out of 10? All right, let me get Elden Ring out of my mind so I can be fair, because I don't want to compare it to certain other games. Is that fair? On its own, as an action Souls-like game, 7 out of 10.
All right.
7 out of 10.
I have to abstain from giving it any kind of rating because right now it's at a 1 because of the keyboard. But I will move over to my Xbox and I'll let you guys know.
Now, be fair about that 7 out of 10. That is me taking out being a fanboy of that era because I grew up on Romancing Kingdom and Dynasty Warriors. So for a person who isn't like, oh my God, Guan Yu Zhang Fei, or I get to pursue Lu Bu, I'm going to engage Lu Bu. If those words mean nothing to you, 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 if that meant that. So for Bloodaxe, 7 out of 10. I know he ain't into all that weird crap, but I don't blame you. Those are weird games we were into.
Don't, just, once again, if you're planning on playing this on a computer,
don't.
At least use a controller. You know, if you want to play this on a keyboard and mouse, don't buy the game.
Do not.
All right. I
don't even know if I trust a controller on PC, man, from what I've heard. Yeah. I honestly say get Game Pass. If you're going to do it, get Game Pass so you only spend like $8. And that way, if you don't like it, hey, Gears is out, man. We got a bunch of other games. Go try Monster Hunter Rise.
Well, speaking about other games, let's talk about something that we were sort of following, and a new video came out for it this week as it got its ESRB, and looking good, dude, and sort of. I mean, I've seen some of this type of material. I guess you haven't been keeping up quite as much as me, but and that's Liza P, man. This dude, this is a game I'm looking forward to, and it's getting closer and closer. I mean, yeah, the sort of magic, almost Cthulhuism type elements are sort of shown in here.
I thought it was pure goth steampunk, but this shows that it's very Lovecraftian, and I was like, oh crap, okay, this went from like goth steampunk with a touch of horror to full Lovecraftian horror.
Now this is another one of those Souls-likes, so I mean, it's definitely I don't know. I'm a little worried about whether because I don't know. I don't think this is coming out on Game Pass, and I'm a little burnt on Souls-like on my PC, so I'm concerned on how this will play.
I
will probably not pre-order this, and I will probably be about a week late on getting it because I will want to see.
Well, it depends on when it's coming out, dude. We got a lot of good. Like, it better watch its release date.
Yeah, I mean,
because this year,
August 2023. So this is after Diablo.
Yeah, but the way they remember Wild Hearts already has DLC.
Yeah, this is probably going to be in the Starfield zone. I will say.
Yeah. Well,
you might want to mute Bloodaxe.
Sorry.
No problem. But here's the thing, and Blood's away on this too, because his biggest problem is like he knows we had some other games. He's got a better memory than me. There was other stuff this year that we're waiting on. So my big thing is that it's gonna have a lot of competition. Oh no, you're wrong. Game Pass.
Oh, it does say Game Pass, don't it?
Hey, I got eyes.
Okay. Well.
All right,
well there you go. So it doesn't matter. We're getting it.
Redfall forever. We've been waiting on Dark Tide forever. We've been Stalker 2 is supposed to be out this month. No, that's not going to happen either.
This month,
Stalker keeps getting pushed back. So there's a lot of games we're looking forward to. And some of the ones we were looking forward to just didn't pan out the way we would have liked for them to be. But this year. We've already got several games we were looking forward to playing, and we're not going to be able to play them, or we are playing them right now. But I think Dead Island is going to be the one I will enjoy the most. But there's several ones I'm excited for.
Oh, no, dude. Multiplayer games coming out that me and you have been actively waiting on, like Redfall. And Redfall's coming out May. But my thing is this, too. You may look initially and say, oh, hey, look, like there's nothing released, but you got to remember, like we said, Wild Hearts. I know you're not that into it, but like I was telling you, they've already got new like DLC coming out, free DLC. So and Monster Hunter Rise have been releasing like 3 DLCs a month. They're desperate. Wild Hearts scared the pants off of them. So if a big Diablo update or something, because now they're not doing that 1 or 2 years. They're doing like a month or two. You used to get on to me about wanting DLC. Guess what? Apparently they're listening to me because they're starting to drop DLC quick. If a big DLC for a big game hits, like for example, we know that Elden Ring's got DLC planned. If it dropped, but now Game Pass has fixed that, but if it had dropped and they weren't on Game Pass, it would have killed that game.
Yeah. Diablo 4 is going to have seasons. So, I mean...
You might be surprised.
Most likely.
It may still drop the DLC. You never know. I mean, it seems to be popular to drop a lot of DLC these days.
Diablo most likely is going to continue to do their normal updates. About a year or so into the game, they'll drop probably some DLC. But I mean, it's a live service, so that's what keeps that wait for DLC not as painful as. But the reason you notice the wait for DLC on a lot of these single player games is because you're getting used to live service type games that are constantly updating.
True. Because I play live service with Bloodaxe a lot.
Yeah.
And I got used to that kind of frequent update.
And you got to think the ones you see the DLC on is mostly live service.
What was that, Bloodaxe?
I don't think anything beats Borderlands 3 with the frequent updates.
True. Wonderlands didn't even try. They didn't even try to keep it. But all right. Well, the good news is we're gonna get to play it regardless.
I'm glad you saw that because that makes me feel a little better about it. Because I will say, I was after Wolong, I was really concerned about whether or not I wanted to pick this up or not.
And the good thing is you get it for both because you're like me. You have the double membership. So if it sucks on PC, because example, one of the advantages for his Game Pass is that he just goes and downloads it on his console. And I know I push Game Pass a lot, but it's just because it's been for me a high value. Because of the fact that I can hop back and forth, you can hop back and forth. Because a normal person can't afford to buy 2 copies of the game. So if you screwed up and ordered on console, I mean, I'm with you, man. As much as I like the game, I'm with you. Like, you got screwed if you bought this on PC and you do not want to use a controller. And if you did not play this on Game Pass, you got hosed. This is why I push Game Pass. I'm like, well, if you have the console, you'll shoulder. If you don't, play something else. You didn't lose any particular money on this game. I almost don't like buying games. I mean, I took a big risk on Wild Hearts. I bought it because Zeno bought it. That's why I bought it. But I felt like it was a risk. I'm shocked it didn't end up screwing me over. Because the last few games me and Bloodaxe bought, we got screwed, man. Last game I bought that was actually worth the money was Elden Ring. But we tried Dying Light 2. Trash. You know what I'm saying? And I think we got something else. What was it?
Wonderlands.
Trash. I regret both of those purchases because that money could have been spent towards something else. Heck, I could have bought my kids something. I could have got Bloodaxe a birthday gift. We could have bought Xeno a console version of these games he keeps buying for PC. You know what I'm saying? But you get my point though. Like, he didn't have to pay. Actually, you didn't buy it. You had the membership. I keep forgetting that. But I don't like EA like that. I'd rather buy the game than get the money to EA. But y'all know me. I'm stick to my guns. Like Final Fantasy 16 looking real fun. But until it comes out to PC, hands off.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with the EA subscription to me is they usually put out at least 2 games I want to try each year. And so $99 a year for a subscription to get the games when they come out, usually get early access. To me, that's worth it because 2 games is usually $70 a game, so $140.
Oh, no, it's a good value for 2 because they do more PC. I play PC only for a select genre, so you get a lot more mileage than me because you play a lot of games on the PC that I don't try because I don't play my game. My PC Game Pass is barely ever touched. The reason I have the PC version is I'm waiting for Starfield. That's why. Like, I have it for Starfield, so I don't have to buy Starfield.
I mean, the only subscription I don't keep is the Ubisoft one, and that's because Ubisoft only gives me about a month's worth of play a year anyway. So I'll grab a month of it subscription, play the few games they have that I'm interested in until I get tired of them, and then I'll drop it.
Well, also to quote the great Sterling, oh, Ubisoft, like they just get into so much trouble.
And I mean that to me that's what Wolong did. They Ubisofted it because Ubisoft is horrible with their controller schematics. I mean, they have games that are almost identical because I mean, Ubisoft's big things are these shooter games. They have like 4 or 5 different shooter series, and they changed the schematic on every one of them, and I'm like, why would you change the schematic of a game that's a shooter game across multiple series when you own them all? If you were to keep that together, then I could go from Division 4 to Division to Far Cry to Call of Duty and have the same schematic. You would think, or not Call of Duty, what's theirs? Ghost Recon.
I think they're also Assassin's Creed, aren't they?
They do Assassin's Creed, but that's not a shooter, so I can understand a different schematic on the controls on that. But I mean, they have all these different shooters, and it's just like they changed the schematic on every one of them. It's a completely different controller or keyboard schematic.
Far Cry 6, man. After Far Cry 5, I was looking forward to Far Cry 6. Anyway. Ubisoft just knows how to make you upset and depress you.
Yeah. So
they sell sadness. That's what they do.
Liza P, Still keeping an eye on it.
Of course, now it's
with it being Game Pass. Yeah, I think we talked about it being Game Pass before. I just keep forgetting because I forget that things have value that I pay for sometimes because I'm pessimistic on that. But
look,
I'm trying to do better.
No,
I'm trying to be the one happy guy on this show.
We have you though, dude. At least you joined us. You used to be a PlayStation owner. Look at what you're getting with this value.
Yeah, I could be playing Final Fantasy.
Going the dark
16
side
for $80, but instead you can play Liza P for like $8 or $18.
I mean, my biggest complaint, other than the fact that I don't really care for Sony, my biggest issue with having an Xbox is everything I can play on my Xbox, I can play on my PC. I'd get nothing really exclusive out of the deal of owning both of those. Where if I owned a PlayStation, there are games that I could play on the PlayStation that I could only play because I have a PlayStation. There's nothing on the Xbox that I can play that I can only play because I have an Xbox.
I like that they did that because it used to be Xbox had exclusives, but now everything that comes on Xbox also comes out on PC. I enjoy the larger market. But you're right, but that's what I'm saying. But the trade-off is Game Pass, though. Because, you could, but you'd have to buy it on your PC.
The Game Pass. Still have Game Pass.
Well, true, you could have Game Pass either way. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say then that you're... Well, actually, I don't know, though, dude. I enjoy playing the fighting games with you on Xbox way better.
I will say, the controller for the Xbox is definitely... I enjoy using the Xbox controller for fighting games a lot more than the PlayStation controller. Once again. But the fighting games isn't for me. The fighting games is for all of us. That's why I do the fighting games. The reason I would have a PlayStation is because of games like God of War and the JRPGs that only end up on PlayStation for some reason, and things like that. Now, I don't want to really support Sony anymore, so that's why I'm fine with not having it.
Also,
and I'll deal with it.
There's one ray of sunlight because you want to be the happy guy. They are putting most of these games out. The Final Fantasy is planned for PC eventually. Yes. And didn't you say you prefer to play on PC?
Well, no, and I'm happy to see that more of these games. But, I mean, God of War came out. It's supposedly going to be on PC. God only knows when.
Well, at least by the time it comes out, you'll pay less. And until then...
No, because when they put it out, they're going to put it out for full price on PC.
I hate Sony so much.
Yes.
I hate Sony. All right. Well, while you're waiting on that, you can play Liza P on your PC or your Xbox.
Yeah, so we'll see.
You can play Wolong only on your Xbox.
We're way over time, guys. The only other thing we had was the Outer Worlds thing, and it was just a bitch fest anyway. Nothing really that special. Quick overrun. They are putting out a new version of Outer Worlds, which I guess will have the DLC. The DLC that we never went back to play and still won't. And
put it out on Game Pass and I'll play it.
And the level cap has been extended. So
hey, wait a minute. Isn't Outer Worlds Obsidian?
Yes.
Oh, just wait for Game Pass anyway.
Oh, it'll probably be on Game Pass,
yeah, it ain't showing it yet. I checked. It wasn't showing it yet.
Yeah, it's not there yet.
But I get that. Because actually, Xbox did. This is interesting. Xbox did admit that
but
Game Pass
even if it comes on Game
sales.
Pass, it's still not enough. Let me actually, I guess, share. It's still not enough for me to go back and play Outer Worlds, dude. I'll be honest. Outer Worlds just wasn't quite there. But if you haven't played Outer Worlds, this is the perfect time to try it out.
When it comes out on Game Pass.
So... Anyway, all right, guys, let's wrap this up, and thanks for watching. Be sure to check us out on Dicejunkies.com, where you find links everywhere we're online: Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on YouTube so you can see when we post stuff throughout the week. If we have anything, like I said, we missed out on the con this weekend due to circumstances, but. We do have another event coming up in March, at the end of March. So
31st.
Yes, 31st, CypherCon. We're going to do a pub run there, just have some fun events.
Crawl. It's gonna be a crawl.
So be sure to, if you're in the Lake Charles area or you're close to Lake Charles, Louisiana, come out, hang out with us, go have some drinks with us after the con. And, as every week.
Close us out, birthday boy.
We hope you enjoy.